people with epilepsy, I do apologize. What is up, everybody? Z.
Like Flash.
You know what? I am Z3KO Trinity, and welcome to the horror vlog. That's right, and today for our horror vlogna, lasagna, we are doing it on the world's scariest movie. That's right, we're doing it on My Little Pony. What's up, Graham? Thank you for joining. Who else is in here with us? Katie and Mega Movie Maniac. And for some awesomeness, because I got a really good horror vlog for you guys today. But first things first. No, we'll do this one. Yeah, I like that one better. First question of the day. What is the scariest movie ever made? Well, tell me, Bobby, what is it? You're the one that knows. You know the scariest movie ever made. What is it?
I literally just thought of something to say and I forgot about it.
It's so scary.
Oh, Babe, that's
he
what
just
it was.
threw it out of his mind.
Yep, it's Babe. The one
Hey,
where
point at it. Oh.
the pig talks and guides the sheep around. You know, it's scary.
Oh, okay, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, the scariest movie ever made is Veronica. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously, what, in y'all's opinion, what is the scariest movie ever made? I don't personally have one because growing up with scary movies and the fact that you watch so many scary movies, they all kind of seem the same every once in a while. I mean, some will throw you off, but let's be real. Like, when we're younger, when we're kids, everything is like the scariest movie ever made. But when we're at the age that we are, you know, typically people go see a new movie. They're like, oh man, I gotta go see this because it's gonna be the scariest movie ever made. And then it ends up letting you down because in your mind, you already are against it. You're already like, this ain't gonna scare me. This ain't gonna scare me. So when you're watching it, immediately after the movie's done, you're gonna get pissed off because it didn't scare you. So what is the scariest movie ever made? I don't personally think that there is a scariest movie ever made. Simply because of our human minds. But going back to a childhood mind, a little kid mind, I will tell you what my scariest movie ever made is once I get to it. But I want to hear you guys some feedbacks. I know mine's listed on the list, so I'm teasing them a little before I get into the hot action. Oh, are you okay? Are you okay? Katie says Tremors. That movie was no scary. Was no scary. The Exorcist still freaks her out. Levi says His Little Pony is scary.
His Little Pony?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know there was a movie called His Little Pony. Or
Maybe he's talking about his actual little pony. Scares him. Don't lie, Levi. You like that show. Nope, can't watch it because it's too scary. Scariest movie. Oh, Cameron is in here. He says the scariest movie I've ever seen was Annabelle Creation. I will agree with you. That was a very well done movie. Isaac says, I think that question cannot be decided fairly as different people are afraid of different things. I fully agree. Which is why I asked you guys your own opinions of what you think. But the next question is going to follow up exactly what you said, Sir Movie Maniac. And that is, what does it take to make the scariest movie ever? Like he just said, everyone has different fears. Some part of a movie can scare the shit out of me. Oh, I'm sorry. The little dooskies out of me. For all you moms out there. No, I'm just kidding. And then it not scare Bobby at all. Because he's just like, Oh, that was pretty scary.
Or as I've been told, I am emotionless
Mm-hmm.
and soulless because I laughed with ha ha ha. That's funny, according to some people.
Mm-hmm. So if scary something happens, he's probably like, I could do that. But anyway, what does it take to make the world's scariest movie? Like, people who are trying to make a decent horror movie, they're wanting something new. They're wanting something that people's never seen before. They're wanting to create a good story, but at the same time, they want to be that movie that everyone's like, oh, that's the scariest movie I've ever seen. Have you ever done that? Saw movies?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah, I had an epileptic seizure because the light flashing.
Are you sure it's not spinning of the chair?
Yeah, that's because spinning of a chair would be motion
God
sickness.
damn You shut up! But, me, if I was to make a scary movie, I believe that I would try to make it as real as I could possibly make it. Like, I wouldn't just, CG some, a whole bunch of scenes and make it painfully obvious that it's fake. But I would try to come up with a concept of something that's real that people can actually relate to or have actually, thought about and try to do it that way. I guess that would be my approach. It's more harder or more easier said than done. But let alone I'm not a movie maker, so.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you guys think? What would it take for you guys, if you guys were making movies or something like that? What would it take for you guys to make the world's scariest movie? Let's see what we got going on here. See, Cameron knows where it's at. He says that Annabelle Creation or Ouija Origin of Evil. Fun fact, Cameron, the same little girl played in both movies. Mm-hmm. Yeah, screw that little bitch. This video is scary. Y'all are scary. Scaring me. Quit it, guys. That's what Levi said.
No, I could have figured it.
Good atmosphere and tension. And also originality. Yeah, I agree. But there's so many horror movies that exist anymore that it's hard to be original. The Exorcist, hands down, is, though Linda Blair's face is creepy as hell. I can't wait for the remake of Disney's Haunted Mansion. But yeah, a lot of horror movies have some comic relief in them. Do you guys feel like that kind of weighs? Like, if a movie's trying to be the scariest movie, or if you're trying to make the world's scariest movie, would you kind of like go at a comedic, like throw in some comedy in there, or would you like try and make like a full hardcore serious movie?
Some comedies in there's alright, because then you can throw people off guard.
Yeah. And plus, you can relate to characters if they make you laugh and stuff like that. So, but yeah, that is a tough question, especially with everyone having different fears. Like, if I was to make a movie about dolls, like 16% of the world is going to be scared shitless, and they're going to be like, "Man, this is the scariest movie I ever seen, dog. Hip hip the hoo." But the other percent is going to be like, we ain't scared of dolls. That movie sucked ass. Mm-hmm. I mean, but yeah, according to Facebook, and according to everything that I've ever seen on this, the whole entire world is considering the movie Veronica. It's a Netflix original movie as for those of you who don't know what Veronica is, it is... Let me bring it up on my laptop. That's currently tangled in the chair. all that spinning I did wasn't a very good idea, now was it? Yeah, Veronica is that crazy ass bitch right there, who apparently can suck 3 cocks at once, according to this picture. I didn't say that. Pretend it was never said. But Veronica is a Spanish movie. It's all in Spanish. You have to read the subtitles. I'm pretty sure they'll probably eventually make an American version. But anyway, I watched this on Netflix, and it's your typical Ouija board movie. It's going to be an eclipse. And this chick, her dad passed away a long time ago. And her mom is constantly busy. She works really late nights at this diner area. And she feels like her mom kind of is distancing herself from her. And she also has a little brother and 2 little sisters who... they're like really little. They're like young kids. And she's the one basically being their mom. Mm-hmm. She has to make sure they're clean, has to make sure they're fed, all this kind of stuff. Well, Veronica has this Ouija board. It does not say how she came upon this Ouija board, but she just so happens to have it in her bag on this exact day that the eclipse was going to happen. Now, it's like this... Catholic school that they're going to. They have like these school uniforms, and all their teachers are like these nun-like people. Mm-hmm. And it shows this one nun who's completely blind, and she's like creepy ass looking and everything. Well, the 3 girls, her and her 2 best friends, go down in the basement with all these like mannequins and all kinds of like excess stuff that the school don't use anymore. And they decide to do this Ouija board to see if she could communicate with her father. Well, at the exact same time this eclipse is happening, they do that. And, of course, paranormal stuff starts happening. And then Veronica just kind of leans back all of a sudden, and her face kind of pulls back, as you've seen in the picture that I showed you. Which was one of the creepiest parts in the movie. But out of the whole movie, there's probably just 2 creepy parts in the whole movie. So yeah, right off the bat, boom, there's the first creepy part of the whole movie. But yeah, she does the seance. After that, the other 2 girls are like, fuck this. And then they skedoodle. Mm-hmm. And the nun that's blind can sense this evil entity that has kind of followed her and stuff like this, because, you opened the door, there's something evil came back through it, it's not your father. And, it's your typical paranormal, Ouija board movie. Mm-hmm. I don't want to give away what all the super scary, scenes in it, what little it has, but does it really live up to the world's scariest movie? No. Hell no. I don't know why. I've even seen things on Facebook saying that this movie was actually trying to get taken off of Netflix because it was too scary for people to watch. So, I'm sitting here watching this movie and I'm all excited. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm about to see something really good here. But... nah, it had a good story, don't get me wrong. It was an interesting story. It's based on true events. Everything that was said in the movie or done in the movie apparently is 100% true. It's not movie, it's not Hollywoodized is what I'm trying to say. According to them. According to the police file that they have on the case. But, yeah... I wouldn't give it a high rating at all. Honestly, out of 10 stars, I would probably give this movie about a 4-star rating. Simply because I enjoyed the characters. The characters were decent. The actors that, their parts, they did that really well. And there was a couple scenes that I thought, filming-wise, that they did really cool. especially the moment with the eclipse, how the eclipse kind of heightened the Ouija board experience.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was very unique. But other than that, there's really nothing to this movie. So, world's scariest movie, my booty hole. Okay. But since we got that out of the way, here is my list of the top 10 scariest movies in my opinion. And you guys can feel free to comment below and let me know, like, maybe your top 3 or top 5, whatever comes to your mind. Just feel free. And before I continue, I'll see, what was all said. I don't want to neglect you guys. Let's see. Alright, here we go. If a scary movie is throwing jokes in the movie, doesn't make it all too scary. I'd rather have the edge of my seat kind of movie. Yeah, I agree. Then you would like the movie Don't Breathe, because that was on the edge of your seat. Haunted Mansion was bad, but are they planning on making a remake of Haunted Mansion? If so, Eddie Murphy probably shouldn't act in it. I thought that was a bullshit statement. It is. Hey, Mr. Matthew, what's up? Thank you for joining. Veronica was kind of lame. It wasn't too bad, but it wasn't the greatest movie. Never using a Ouija board? I agree. Hell no, can't buy the boards at the toy section. I have a conspiracy theory that Netflix have been spreading good reviews for their own movies because they are getting really powerful now. I can agree with that. Like, honestly, I think Facebook and Netflix are kind of going hand in hand anymore. So, Netflix comes out with a new movie or something, boom, it's instantly said on Facebook. So, I can kind of agree with that. Things kind of messing up here. Sorry about that. I have we have top 10 scariest movies. I have number 1. So, yeah, I'm going to hop right on that as soon as I can. Number 10, the scariest movie, Nightmare on Elm Street. I'll probably put it back to regular view so you guys can see the covers. Undertaker and Braun Strowman should do a movie together. They should do a porno together, Levi. Nightmare on Elm Street. Why is it in my top 10 scariest movies ever made? Because simply this. When I was a kid, I had nightmares after nightmares because of Nightmare on Elm Street. And it's not just the first one, it's all of them. They all tear the holy crap out of me, and I've had nightmares ever since. But like I said, when I was a kid, things are a lot more scarier. So that had to make it in my top 10 scariest movies because, let's face it, if a guy pops in your dream and, like, kills you in, like, sadistic ways, that's some scary shit. Number 9, The Green Inferno. This disgusting little movie right here. And you can see the people in the back that I was telling you about. Yeah. All I'm going to say for this movie is fuck this movie. Because this was so disgusting, so realistic, that it's just terrifying, I think. Number 8, we have Don't Breathe, the movie I told Katie that she should watch if she likes movies that are on the edge of your seat. Me and my brother fell off the edge of our seat watching this movie. This movie is one of the greatest movies. I see myself buffering, so I hope you guys are, I hope you see it okay and stuff. But Don't Breathe is one of the greatest movies, new modern day horror movie I've ever seen. I would definitely put this up there with like Child's Play 1 and all of the really good classics. So definitely Don't Breathe was a terrifying, on the edge of your seat movie. And here is another terrifying, on the edge of your seat movie, The Visit. What do you think of The Visit, Bobby?
I've only heard what you told me about after you watched
You've never seen it?
Nope. But I remember you telling me about it.
I thought me and you watched it.
No. Because ain't the visit where the kids go to their grandparent?
Yeah.
So, you only told me about it. We didn't watch that one.
Well, guess what we're doing tonight?
Yeah.
The Visit. Absolutely terrifying. The actors in this movie should get an award. Honestly. The grandma of the movie, to hell with her. And just, this M. Night Shyamalan, this is what made me love M. Night Shyamalan's movies a lot more, honestly. Like, I've watched The Village, I'm like, that was dumb as hell. I've watched his other movies, and I'm like, well, they're good, but not really the best. Mm-hmm. I watched this movie, I'm like, oh, hail Shambhala.
Okay.
Insidious Chapter 3. Insidious Chapter 3, I felt, was the scariest of the whole Insidious saga, if you will. Mm-hmm. The first one I kind of felt was a little bit more childish, how they did it. The second one was terrifying, but this third movie, I think they were like on point with this third movie. What do you think?
I liked it. I don't remember much about it though. Even though I watched it.
He's still half asleep during this vlog,
yeah,
okay?
Sure. No, it's just been a while. I think I watched it when it came out. We watched it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it has been a while since we've seen it. But, yeah, I remember certain scenes in this movie. They, like, stood out really well compared to the rest, in my opinion. Next up, we're on the bottom 4 now. We have The Conjuring. First time ever a trailer to a horror movie scared me. I remember watching the trailer for the very first time, and I had a hard time going to sleep that night after watching it. It terrified me. But let's see. Nightmare is awesome. One of my favorite movies. There's a movie named That Wow. Are you sure it's called ShamWow? The video is good. Y'all just sound like robots and blurry some lags. Yeah, I do notice that it's lagging a lot. Did you see Split? Yes, I did. It's another excellent movie. And thank you for joining Damirot. I think that's what it says. Can you shout out my dog Enza? Denio, she died. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, I've had a couple of my dogs pass away last year, so I completely understand that. What was its name? Enza Danino. Here's a shout out and a rest in peace for that dog. What kind of dog was it, may I ask? That's kind of sad. I hate to hear that. I hate to hear whenever a pet or something passes away, or a family member passes away, I should say. But, yeah, The Conjuring did not disappoint me. I thought the movie itself was absolutely mind-blowing, and it's one of my top favorite horror movies ever made. All I can say is, the hell with the clap game. Me and my brother and my cousin Jenna played it, and we had to stop. Well, no, my ex-girlfriend Devin played it as well. And we had to quit because my ex-girlfriend Devin put her hand on a knife and cut her hand open. So, yeah. Fuck the clap. Number 3, and this is one that Cameron had mentioned earlier. Annabelle Creation.
Don't you mean number 4 because you don't have the number 1 movie?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Thank you. Number 4. Sorry about that. I was thinking. I'm like a robot. I need to upgrade it every once in a while. Annabelle Creation. The first movie wasn't really that scary at all. It was kind of a letdown. But honestly, Annabelle Creation was where it's at. There's 3 things that terrify the shit out of me in horror movies. Little kids, scarecrows, and dolls. All 3 of these sons of bitches was in this movie. So, yeah. Terrifying. Number 3, Paranormal Activity. And I know everybody hates that movie, and it's rightfully so because they came out with so many shitty versions. or shitty sequels, I should say. But Paranormal, anyway, about it. Paranormal Activity 1, when it first came out, it had the same repetition as Veronica. I've heard many people talk about it at work. They said it is the scariest movie ever made. So I decided I'm going to rent it and find this out for myself. So me and my brother, naturally, and I was off the next day, so we actually decided to watch it at midnight. And we have our lights turned out and everything, because that's kind of how we used to do things whenever a scary movie comes out. And I will admit, that movie terrified the shit out of me. Every night when it came up, night 100, I was like sitting there with the covers over my mouth going, like, what the hell's going to happen next? I've never seen a movie like that before. And you know what's great about Paranormal Activity? There was no CGI, unless you can count the shadow movement. But I personally don't believe the shadow movement was CGI.
It's hard to tell.
I personally think that the Paranormal Activity movies were made very well, regardless of how stupid the story ended up to be. I still think that the director and stuff, and you have to admit, they put a huge impact on horror. Like, hell, this horror genre now is all paranormal because of it, of how much it succeeded.
I like the alternate ending better.
Oh, where she... Well,
well, no, she didn't kill herself. In alternate, well, not... There's multiple alternate endings.
Well, I've only seen the one on the DVD.
There's one where she doesn't... Well, she killed the guy and doesn't realize that she did it, and the cops showed up and the cops kill her because she didn't even realize she still had a knife in her hand. It's the ending I saw.
They've only had on my DVD, they only had the two, the regular ending where he flies at the thing and then she looks at the camera and goes yeah. And then the other ending with where she sits in front of the camera and then all of a sudden has this knife and she goes
oh, no, I didn't see that.
And that's it.
Yeah, like she just wakes up out of being possessed.
And you know, I was really terrified because back then we haven't really seen that many movies that were like true story or whatever. We've never heard of the actors. We've never heard of this story. And there was no credits. Like at the end of the movie, for the longest time, there was no credits. But if you wait like at least 25 or so, 30 minutes, then it speeds runs this little set of credits, which I found that out. And then, of course, all got ruined for me because of the alternate ending. And I'm like, how is this a true story if it has an alternate ending? Like, for real. Number 2 goes to Stephen King's It, the remake, simply because it is terrifying. I am in love with this movie. I'll do it right now. What do you think of Stephen King's It, the remake? Like, do you think that it deserves like number 2?
Yeah, it has moments.
I thought that they did an excellent job with this movie. The most scariest scene to me was that basement scene where Georgie's looking down there and little Georgie's down there and he's like, you'll float too, and the clown's slowly coming like beside him and then he just kind of throws Georgie down in the water and then like starts running at him in that dumbass little kind of thing that he does. I think that was one of the most scariest scenes out of the whole movie. And like I said, I do not own number 1. I don't know why I don't own this one. It is The Exorcist. The Exorcist has been given several awards and has been nominated the scariest movie ever made, and it is rightfully so. Very often, actually quite often anymore, when a new horror movie comes out, they are given the title, one of the scariest movies ever made in a century, or something like that, where they try to, increase sales on it and make people watch it. But Exorcist was the first one to ever say the world's scariest movie, and it lived up to its reputation. It was filmed right. They made the props of everything. There was no CGI. I mean, it was just an original idea at the time, and it was perfect. And still to this very day, every time I watch that movie, when the bitch does the crab walk backwards down the stairs, I'm like, the hell with you. Throw holy water at my TV. Alright, let's see what you guys think of the list or of your own opinions. Okay, we're here. Okay, that's where we left off. I didn't even know that you had the remake of it on DVD. Yep, I have it on 4K. I have the 4K one. I rarely buy 4K movies. I only want to buy the ones that I personally really loved. So that's why I have that one. The Exorcist is my absolute favorite scary movie. I only watched it like 2 months ago. Yeah, it is a really well done movie. I think they did an excellent job on it. What do you think, Bobby, of The Exorcist?
Oh, it's been since I was a kid when I watched it. I remember bits and pieces, but it was a good movie.
Mm-hmm. It's a classic, that's for sure. They can make all the Exorcist-like movies. It's never going to touch that one. But, my next question. Do you guys ever put yourselves in the positions of the characters of these horror movies that you watch? Yesterday, me and my friend Bobby and my friend Nick went out to see A Quiet Place. And I'm not talking about a random shack in the woods. I'm talking about the movie A Quiet Place. And through the whole movie, I was thinking, like, what would I do if I was in this situation? I'd probably go ahead and die, because hell, I'm fat. My footsteps would make a loud enough sound for those things to kill me. But, anyway, I often think that in some situations, like when I watched The Hills Have Eyes, I was like, well, what would I have done in this situation? Would I have been, clever enough to do what the people in the movie did? So on and so forth. Have you guys ever done that to any scary movie? What about you?
Nope.
You've never
Nope.
once, watched a movie and you're like, well, I would have done this, or you're just like that. It is what it is. They do what they do.
Yeah.
Just entertain me.
Entertain
Dance
me.
for me, puppets. But what do you guys think? I know it's lagging really bad, and I apologize for that. Oh, I didn't see. Invite me. Yeah, we didn't invite you. You were at work. Because you talk a lot, Levi. But, yeah, I often put myself in a lot of the movies. With The Purge, I always picture, what would I do? I can't afford, super high-tech, barrier for the house. Mm-hmm. So I was like, what would I do? And blah, 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 blah. Stuff like that. But, yeah, you've never once, not even in Tremors, your favorite movie, thought, you know what? I probably just wouldn't walk ever again.
Well, just make you like they do in the third movie, a concrete barrier, and that's it. You don't have to worry about them anymore.
And Twister, if you were there,
don't live
with
in
the
Midwest.
Characters, if you were there with the characters, don't have a feeling for cows.
That's what it is. Easy solutions. Don't live in the Midwest.
To the natural person, they're like, oh, the tornado picked up a cow. To him, he's like, my wife!
Oh, yeah. Talking about Levi. I mean, he does like dairy.
Dairy air. But seriously, Levi, you're an awesome person. Go subscribe to Linwell. Maybe. I'm just kidding.
For your unboxing / opening.
Oh, he did 2 videos today that I actually thought was pretty good. An unboxing / opening, even though they're the same thing, of that figure, which was actually a pretty cool figure. I will admit, it's a really cool figure. Like me, I have a really cool figure. My next question: what movie, in your opinion, has a very strong connection with you? Meaning, like, you love the characters so much that you just want to watch the movie over and over again just to kind of hang out with the characters. Or it could be the story itself is so inspiring to you that you just, every time you watch it, you're like, man, that is my movie, my go-to horror movie. Is there any scary movie that you guys feel like you have this deep connection with? As for me, strangely, it's Stephen King's It. I have watched Stephen King's It more than 100 times. And I kid you not. In a notebook, in my, I was going to say library, but in my closet, I have tally marks of every time I watched Stephen King's movies, which I gave that up a long time ago. But I have watched Stephen King's It over 100 times. Because I love the characters. I think that they are so inspiring, overcoming their fear. I love the story itself. Just everything about it I just find really inspiring. I find the hidden messages within it are inspiring. And I just really see the characters as like friends. I'm crazy. I need some more friends. No, I'm just kidding. I just connect with that movie for some reason. I don't know why, I just do. What about you, Bobby? Is there a movie that just so happens to start with a T that you connect with?
Terminators always have the cyborg trying to kill me. I gotta stay on the move. Go town to town. My real name's John Connor.
You're like, oh, that reminds me. See ya.
Oh, well, it's time for Terminator 5. I gotta go. I gotta go save the day.
All these movies, they rolled back on me. I was like, what the fuck? Is there a basketball in my bed? Or are you just happy to see me? No, seriously though, is there any scary movie that you have seen like multiple times that you just personally love? Whether it's the characters you love, or it's the story you love, or it's just one funny scene with a cow that you love.
Well, that's just oddly specific, random moment. A scene with a cow. Okay.
I love this cow.
You're totally not talking about Twister. I like the story of Twister and Tremors. So screw
You know, I always give him shit about liking those movies, but they are perfect movies. Tremors, the first Tremors, was one of the greatest movies of its time, and it still today is a great movie.
They're even making a TV show.
And Twister, which needs a sequel. They probably do have a sequel, I just don't know about it. Or if people, old Geostorm is technically a sequel, or, just major events are sequels in itself. But I'm talking about, like, the characters and all. I think they should make, like, a sequel with them. I'm pretty sure they can't get the actual cast anymore, but still, they could, like, make it where their kids are following in their footsteps or something. I don't know. Maybe even do a little remake or something. Just give it props. But either way, it is an inspiring story and just cow.
Just cow.
Just kidding. But yeah, what about you guys? What you guys, do you guys have anything that you're deeply connected to besides my channel? Let's see. Yes, I have movies, El Manuel says. Make a movie like Sharknado, Mixed Twister, and Tremors. What do you feel about that? Like, have a Twister movie, but the Graboids are in the Twister. You think that would work? Yeah. That would defeat the purpose because they hear movement and they're the ones moving. They're like, oh shit.
They're the ones up in the air so they can't hear or feel anything.
Titanic is scary. Not getting on a ship bet of that movie. Because of that movie. Oh, he thinks the Titanic was super scary. That is a scary thing. Like, a long time ago, whenever I still lived with my grandma, they had this... Sorry about that. They had this thing on the news about this ship where people on the ship kind of... Like, they were stuck out in the middle of the water. The electricity went out. Everything was there. And they just kind of... Just there. They couldn't find any way out or anything like that. Which I'm surprised they haven't made a movie about it.
Probably have.
But the toilets were overflowed because people constantly used the bathroom. And I mean, it was like a nightmare for those people. And I saw this on the news.
It was a cruise
and I was like,
ship, I remember.
Yeah, you remember that? I was thinking, man, I'm never getting on a cruise. Like, ever. I mean, if you've been on a cruise and it's, goes as planned, I mean, it's probably one of the coolest things you'll ever do. But in my case, the hell with that. But we're going to do the next movie review, which is going to be A Quiet Place. Take it away, Bobby.
Well, what do I got taken away?
I've been talking. I know, but
exactly.
I've been talking, video. So you
go with it.
You explain.
Get on with your bad stuff.
Oh, okay. It freezes when I did it, so I was like, A Quiet Place begins with this lovely little family in a store. And they're all gathering supplies, going through medications and stuff like that. And the whole entire movie, they aren't saying a word.
And it starts off 87 days.
And yeah, it starts off like day 87. And like the whole world's already, well, not the whole world, but New York has been contained because there's these things. And it doesn't really explain what these things are. Whether they're alien, whether they're actual like things that live on the earth. They don't explain nothing like that. Just all you need to know is that they hear sound and that's how they hunt you down. And so the whole family's going through, they're not saying anything. They're doing sign language, and just through the whole movie, it was really unique, actually. I've never seen a scary movie that have so little sound in it, besides black and white films.
Oh, it's all subtitles. Just
But regardless, this family's traveling on, and all of a sudden their kid, he wanted this toy rocket. He's got the batteries in it, getting ready to turn it on, which is going to create some kind of noise. And the dad's like... He takes the batteries out, puts the toy back, basically tells his son no, he can't have it. But the little sister, who's actually deaf, like she can't hear at all, she turns around, grabs the thing, and gives him the rocket. She doesn't give him the batteries. Well, as they go to leave, the little boy's like, yoink, with the batteries. And they walk for a long period, and they get onto this one bridge where the boy thinks, okay, I'm going to pop these batteries in and play with my toy. And all of a sudden it just makes this woo, 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 woo noise. And when I want to let you guys know, in a movie theater, when we're watching this movie, what little noise is actually in the movie, they like heightened greatly. So the noise itself is what scares you. But the boy turns the thing on, then the dad's like trying to, run at him in slow motion to try and stop him, and all of a sudden this alien predator or praying mantis thing just comes out of the door and then basically like slaughters the kid, and then just it comes up A Quiet Place. But it is a very unique movie. It was directed very well. I really did like how they filmed it. There is a part in the movie where I was like, mm! And I even looked at Bobby, and him too, was like, yeah. I mean, it is cringe worthy, but the ending of this movie is just bad ass. I love the ending of it, and I do think they're going to make another one, but it's going to be a prequel, because the way they have it set up, like, randomly, like, start at day 87. So I'm pretty sure we're going to see the next movie start with, like, day 1, and it's going to say how these creatures came about, learn a little bit more about them, maybe even actually give them a name, like in Tremors. Did they actually call them graboids in like the first Tremors movie?
Yes, that was the name given to them.
Okay, well, see, they at least called them something in the first movie. This movie, it just was, who knows. But all in all, it was an actually really good movie. What do you think?
I definitely liked it.
Did you find anything that you didn't like it besides the subtitles?
Pretty much covered it. They need to put a whole beginning story, what happened, how they got to where they were at the day 87. But otherwise, this is pretty good. And we would like to see more of the ending. Yeah,
my friend Nick said the same thing. He said he would have liked to have seen the ending extended a little bit more than where it actually left off. And if you have not seen this movie, there is no end credit after the credits rolls. So don't waste your time sitting in a movie theater hoping that there's something more. But regardless, I will give this movie a solid 8 out of 10, simply because it was really good, but the TV, the commercials and stuff make it out to be, like this #1 movie in the world, which I didn't personally feel, lives up to that expectation. So I feel like it was a great movie, just not a perfect 10-star movie. It really did lack a lot of things, which I don't want to discuss simply because I don't want to spoil anything for you guys. But the #1 question of the day: graboids versus, I'm calling these things a Preda-Alien Mantis, because these things in the Quiet Place look like a alien from the movie Aliens, but it's heavily armored like the Predators are, and they kind of have this whole kind of thing going on, which Predators kind of do. And like I said, it looks like a praying mantis because its arms are kind of like Stephen King's It was. So, Bobby, I'm leaving this whole thing up to you. Graboids versus a Preda-Alien Mantis.
Graboids. That's easy.
But these Preda-Alien Mantises are fully armored. You don't think that the graboids will swallow them, but those things can just shred through them on the inside.
Yep, because after the first one dies, the other ones get smarter and learn how to take it down.
Life like Matt Hardy. Okay, you need to stop. Okay.
I had to throw that in there for he knows what my Hardy's laugh is.
But you are 1,000,000% right. I never even thought of that. Like, So the one graboid sacrifices himself. He's like, I'm just going to eat it.
Mm-hmm.
After he eats it, the others was like, don't eat it, don't eat it.
I don't think they're gonna go. Don't eat it. Don't eat it. More like they dig a trap and bury it, then try to eat it and all other stuff, like they did in the movie.
Answer the phone. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry, that's funny. But yeah, I will have. He pretty much shoved his fist in the ass of that conversation there. I mean, I have to hand it to him. Graboids tear those things apart. I don't want to talk too much about the things because it might ruin it for those who have not seen the movie. But it all comes down to brains versus bronze in this case. So, like he said, graboids were smart. They're evolving. These things are kind of that way, but not to that extent. More or less, these things just kind of rely on their armor, and they pretty much feel secure from that. So, but anyway, I got a new thing for the channel, or for the horror vlog. I mean, that I think is a kind of a really good idea. It depends on how my money situation stands, how often I do this. But I am doing an unboxing and review of horror stuff. And in this episode, I decided to do an unboxing of my gift that my best friend gave me. The Child's Play Good Guy miniature figure from NECA. Now, NECA is a very good company that pays really good attention to detail. And I don't expect anything less from this figure being a NECA figure. Wasn't it you that said you imagined it a little bit bigger?
Yeah, I thought it was a little bit bigger, but
which we all do, but you get what you get.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, regardless, I was shocked when I saw this, so I'm also shocked at how bad it is opening it. It's like, no, don't! You know in those horror movies where you see those actors and they're like going to the attic or something like that, and you're like, don't go in there. Don't go in there. Well, these people are watching me and they're like, don't open that. Don't open that. Chucky's gonna get you. I'm having more hard time opening this than Levi did his Japanese toy that they don't know how to build, according to him. Okay, fuck you, Chucky. You know what? I'm sick and tired of this bullshit. I am the bush! Alright. First off, we have this really nice back design of the first Child's Play movie, which is my #1 favorite movie in the world. I would kill to have an actual replica or life-size Child's Play good guy doll from that movie. I don't want these piece of shit ones that they have out based on the one from all his scars and stuff, because those look just plumb retarded. Mm-hmm. I want an actual authentic good guy doll. Is that so hard to ask? Alright, right off the bat, we see this little yellow box. It has good guys. He wants you for a best friend. Collect all the good guy accessories. On the side of the box, it has the picture of the good guy from the actual cartoon and all his accessories that it's supposed to come with. This is my favorite part, the back, where it says, good guys, let him share your secrets. Hi, I'm a good guy. Let's play. We open the box, and we find a plastic container that we slowly pull out. And we'll try to keep this intact because I want to keep the figure still in the plastic and in the box. But we have there's what it looks like at the moment. It has the knife from the first. Now, I want you guys to realize that this is the actual good guy doll from the first movie. And man, oh man, I have to say the hair and stuff on this doll is spot on. Like, I want to check and see if he has his batteries. Like, okay, right here it is, Chucky in his greatest form. He has that, you know, in the first movie when Chucky first comes alive, the first time we ever see the actual doll itself come to life, he just goes like this, ah, and has this look on his face. That is the look that they gave. The hair is actual figure hair. We can pull it back and kind of see holes in his scalp where the hair is feeding through. But if you keep his hair kind of like, you know, like that, it's blocking it. So they did an excellent job there. I feel like it's very flimsy. Like it could probably break easy with the arms and stuff. But yeah, I think the detail on this little sucker, it would be really cool if they would have added that flower on the bottom of his shoes. I don't know how well you guys will see this. Probably can't see it. Oh, you might be able to see it there. It does say good guys on the bottom of the shoe. Mm-hmm. It would have been really cool if they had that little flower. You know, in the first movie where he stepped in the flower. Mm-hmm. It would have been really cool to have that. But if you look carefully, it has the picture of the axe, the hammer, the gun. It has the picture of the toys on his shoe. Like, they really paid attention to the detail with that. Okay. I'm going to put him back in there like so. I'm going to... Actually, I probably should put him in this thing first. Like so. This is what's called a reboxing. There you go. And then we have, it comes with a baseball bat, a really huge baseball bat. It comes with a hammer that he used to kill Andy's aunt. It comes with his signature knife in the corner and just a regular kitchen butcher knife. So this is going right back into the yellow box like so. And this goes first, then these two, and that. All in all, I think the figure is really nice. It's pretty much made for collective purposes. I gotta shake it a little to get the hair out of the face part. And then, alright, there we go. Perfect. But, all in all, NECA really paid very close detail to this figure. I love it to death. If I had to rate this actual horror piece, I would give it a solid 9 out of 10. Because when it comes to figures, of course, there's always going to be your problems. The only problem that I would see is I would have really liked it if it was, like, if it had the name of the doll on there, like if it had, like, Chucky written on there. Which I don't think Good Guy dolls had their names listed. No, they didn't have Chucky.
Chucky was just, his nickname. Charles Lee Ray.
Yeah.
His nickname with his friends was Chucky.
Oh, that's right. Never mind then. What am I talking about?
Yeah, 10 out of 10. You're supposed to know how all this, not me.
10 out of 10! Nah, I feel like it's a 9 out of 10.
Which that is the thing. They actually changed that in the one movie, if you remember. Well, actually, there was 1% of them called Chucky.
Yeah.
Even though that's not how the original started.
No. But, yeah. Really great figure. Really great piece. Thank you so much for getting it for me.
You're welcome.
And we're coming to the final subject of our horror vlog, which is our last movie review. It is going to be on the biggest plot twist of a horror vlog you guys will ever see. We're going to be reviewing Jumanji. But before I review Jumanji, I gotta ask you guys this. Is Jumanji a scary movie? I was giving it some thought. No, the sequel is not a scary movie, but the first one I would consider as a scary movie. Now, hear me out. When I was younger and I watched this movie, the things that came out of this board game terrified me. Like the plants. When the plant creatures came out, when these giant bug-like creatures came out, when the monkeys not so much, but just different things that kept coming out, like it really terrified me when I was younger. And even though it has Robin Williams in it, it really wasn't that much of a comedy-like movie. It was more serious, had a really good heartfelt story to it, but all in all, it was just a pure good movie. So, would it be considered a scary movie? I would say yes, because of how realistic it is and of the monsters that come out of this board game. Just think of it. If a board game was to come to real life and either trap us in there like it did him, I think his name was like Alan.
Yeah, I forget his last name.
Parrish. Alan Parrish. Like, he got actually sucked into the game itself. Imagine how terrifying that would be. You, a young kid, getting sucked in to a board game. So I would consider it a scary movie. Now, on for our review. We're going to be reviewing both. We're going to do a quick review on the original because I'd say everybody's seen the original, and just by the way of me talking about it, asking as a scary movie, they can already hear what my opinion of the original is. The original, I'm going to give a 12 out of 10 because it is beyond what I love about it. It is perfect. I got it in 4K because it was actually a really cheap 4K movie. It's like, when I got it for Christmas, it was like $15.
Oh, I thought you got the free copy of it with Jumanji.
There is a free copy in there, which I'll probably give to you.
Ooh.
Oh boy! Oh boy! But yeah, Jumanji the original. Love Robin Williams. Rest in peace, Robin Williams. You were my one favorite actor, and just I loved and cherished almost all of your movies. There were quite a few movies that I really didn't like, but hey, they all have movies that they act in that aren't good. But what about this new Jumanji? Welcome to the Jungle. I feel this is way more of a action-packed comedy compared to the first one. Like, honestly, I wouldn't even want to compare the two because the first one is just so heartfelt, so real, whereas this one is nothing but comedy with your pinch of hardcore action in it. There was really nothing scary about this at all that I wouldn't even if I saw this movie as a kid, nothing about this movie would scare me, like, at all. So, but with that said, does that mean it's not a good movie? No. I, for the longest time, did not want to watch this movie because simply I felt that they ruined the story. I felt it was a remake. I felt it was just going to be a waste of time. They just wasted, doing something that I really loved and then just screwing it up. But it turns out it was a sequel, and they even mention in the movie Alan's character. So it's kind of cool that they kind of pay homage to that. And the characters themselves, the Jack Black, Dwayne Rock Johnson and all them, I felt that they did a perfect job working together. Like all the actors. I felt they did an amazing job. I loved the characters. I love the story. And I would honestly give this movie a 10 out of 10. I wouldn't give it a 12 out of 10 because it really didn't, go beyond what I expected.
Mm-hmm.
But it was an excellent movie. It was a felt good movie. After it was over, you just felt really good and was happy about it. So, yeah, definitely worth watching if you have not seen this one. What do you feel about the Jumanji movies? Do you kind of agree with me, or
Yeah, I agree with you.
any
Definitely
last?
the second one is better than what you'd expect when you heard it was coming out.
Mm-hmm.
You figured it wasn't going to be all that great, and it actually turned out to be pretty good.
Yeah, well, I just didn't like it because I was too connected with the first movie. But to a lot of people, this is this. Of course, nowadays, kids, when they see Jumanji, they're going to watch, Robin Williams one, and they're going to say, well, this ain't as good as, the other one, yeah. Which is a shame, really. But, hey, to each their own. But, anyway, that's all I have to say about Jumanji. Let me know what you guys think. I'm going to see if you guys had said anything. Scariest Doctor Who episode when he turned into a woman. Okay. Oh, copy my idea. They are selling actual good guy doll on Trick or Treat Studios for $500. I'm gonna have to look, cause I'm like dead serious about that shit. Jum. Well, the last thing I wanted to say, which I might do it in my next horror vlog unboxing. There is an actual replica of the Jumanji board game. Not the gay-ass little Nintendo game, the second one, where it evolves into the Nintendo game. But the actual board game itself. They have it on sale. I was going to purchase it and do an unboxing of it to see exactly how good this board game really is. Who knows? I might even get sucked in. Woo! But yeah, that was my horror vlog for today. It lasted way longer than what I expected. It's a 67 minutes. I was thinking of it's gonna be a short episode, going to be a 40-minute episode at tops.
Yeah.
So, hey, I did pretty good.
Time for Elman Will to go to bed.
Yep, it's time for Elman Will to hit the hay. So hit it. But thank you guys so much for joining in. We have a lot of really good comments. We had a new person join in. I still hate to hear about his dog. I'd seen that he didn't mention anything else. So, but regardless, if you're watching for the first time, thank you so much for joining in. And I love you guys to death. I hope that I can make these horror vlogs better and better as they go along. Did you guys like the unboxing? Because I think I'm going to start doing more unboxings. Whatever my money, financially, if there's a week that I can't buy something new to unbox, I'll just have to think of something else. But regardless, I'm working on making this channel, not just the horror vlog, but this channel better and better. So, thank you, Bobby, for joining me. Subscribe to his channel, LDGod123. He's going to make another movie here in 2037.
Yep.
And it'll be...
was Dr. Dre every 10 years.
Yeah, every 10 years he'll come out with a new video. Even if it's like 2 minutes long. But, anyway, thank you guys so much for joining. I'm Z3KO Trinity. And I guess... clean up this mess after I get done. Put up all these movies and it's gonna be a bitch. Don't look like for a great fan because I have no life. See you guys on the next episode. No scares. Turn off, damn you.